My dear sisters, the moment a woman realizes her worth, everything begins to change. She stops chasing, she stops explaining, she stops begging for what should come naturally. And from that moment, people either respect her or lose access to her. One, she never begs for love or attention. My dear sisters, one of the biggest mistakes many people make is believing that love must be chased, that if they just try a little harder, give a little more, tolerate a little longer, things will eventually change. They hold on to the hope that their extra effort will finally make someone see their value. But the truth is often painful and simple at the same time. The more you chase, the more you convince the other person that you will stay no matter how they treat you. And when someone feels they cannot lose you, they slowly stop valuing you. A smart woman understands something that many learn too late. Real love is not confusing. Real care is not inconsistent. Real respect does not come and go depending on someone's mood. If someone truly cares about you, they will show it without you having to remind them again and again. If someone truly values you, they will make time for you without excuses. If someone truly respects you, they will not put you in situations where you feel like an option instead of a priority. When a woman begins to beg for attention, even silently, she starts to lose parts of herself. It may not happen all at once, but slowly and quietly. She starts overthinking every message, questioning her worth, wondering what she did wrong, trying to fix something that was never hers to fix. Her happiness becomes dependent on how someone else treats her. Her peace becomes tied to someone else's presence. And without realizing it, she gives away her emotional power. A smart woman refuses to live like this. She does not measure her worth by how much attention she receives. She does not beg for time, love, or care. Instead, she observes. She watches how people treat her when she stops trying so hard. And in that silence, she sees the truth clearly. Because when you stop chasing, you finally see who was walking beside you and who was only there because you kept pulling them along. Choosing dignity over desperation is not easy. It requires strength to step back when your heart wants to hold on. It requires courage to accept that not everyone you care about will care about you the same way. But a smart woman understands that staying in a place where she is not valued will only break her slowly. She would rather face temporary loneliness than live with constant disappointment. She would rather protect her self-respect than sacrifice it for someone who does not see her worth. She knows that peace built on self-respect is far more valuable than attention built on desperation. And most importantly, she trusts a deeper truth. What is meant for her will come naturally, without force, without begging, without losing herself in the process. And what leaves her life, no matter how much it hurts, was never meant to stay. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. Two, she protects her peace no matter what. My dear sisters, peace is one of the most valuable things you will ever have in this life, yet it is also one of the easiest things to lose. Not because life is always difficult, but because we often allow too many things and too many people to enter our emotional space without limits. We respond to everything, we react to everyone, we carry conversations long after they end, and we hold on to words that should have been ignored. Slowly, without realizing it, our mind becomes crowded and our heart becomes heavy. A smart woman understands that peace is not something you find by accident, it is something you protect with intention. She realizes that not every situation deserves her reaction, not every opinion deserves her attention, and not every person deserves access to her energy. She becomes selective not because she is cold, but because she values her inner calm. She learns that constant reacting is exhausting. When you feel the need to respond to every message, defend yourself in every argument, or prove your point in every situation, you lose more than you gain. You lose your time, your energy, and most importantly, your peace. A smart woman does not feel the need to explain herself to everyone. She understands that people who truly understand her will not need constant explanations, and people who misunderstand her will not be convinced no matter how much she explains. One of her greatest strengths is silence, not the silence of weakness, but the silence of control. When she is faced with negativity, she does not always respond. When she is disrespected, she does not always argue. When she feels overwhelmed, she steps back instead of pushing forward. She knows that walking away from unnecessary conflict is not losing, it is protecting herself. A smart woman also understands the importance of emotional boundaries. She does not allow other people's moods to control her day. She does not carry the weight of problems that are not hers to solve. She listens, she cares, but she does not absorb everything, because she knows that if she keeps taking in everyone's emotions, she will slowly lose control of her own. Protecting her peace sometimes means creating distance. Distance from negativity, distance from constant drama, distance from people who bring confusion instead of clarity. This is not about cutting people off without reason, but about recognizing when something is disturbing your inner balance and having the courage to step away. There are moments when she chooses silence over reaction, distance over attachment, and calmness over chaos. These choices are not always easy, but they are necessary. Because every time she chooses her peace, she is choosing herself. And this is where true strength lies. Not in controlling others, not in winning arguments, but in mastering your own responses. A smart woman knows that she cannot control how people behave, but she can always control how she reacts. And by doing that, she protects the one thing that keeps her stable in an unstable world. Her peace is not something she is willing to trade for temporary emotions, unnecessary arguments, or people who do not value it. It is her priority, her strength, and her responsibility. 3, she knows her worth and does not tolerate disrespect. My dear sisters, one of the most powerful transformations in a woman's life begins the moment she truly understands her worth. Not the kind of worth that depends on compliments, attention, or validation from others, but a deep, unshakable sense of value that comes from within. This kind of self-worth changes how she thinks, how she speaks, how she behaves, and most importantly, what she allows in her life. Many people move through life unaware of their own value. They tolerate behavior that slowly breaks them. They stay in situations that drain them. They accept words that quietly damage their confidence, not because they are weak, but because they are hoping things will change. They keep giving chances, keep making excuses, keep waiting for respect to appear on its own. But respect does not appear on its own. It is shaped by what you accept and what you refuse. A smart woman understands this clearly. She knows that the way people treat her is often a reflection of the standards she sets. If she allows disrespect once without response, it becomes easier for it to happen again. If she ignores her own boundaries, others will ignore them too. Over time, what she tolerates becomes what she receives. That is why she becomes very clear about her limits. Not in a loud or aggressive way, but in a calm and firm manner. She does not need to raise her voice to be taken seriously. She does not need to argue endlessly to prove her point. Her strength is not in how much she reacts, but in how clearly she stands by her values. She understands that self-respect is quiet but powerful. When someone speaks to her in a way that crosses the line, she does not laugh it off just to keep the peace. When someone repeatedly ignores her feelings, she does not continue to stay and hope for change. When someone treats her as if she is replaceable, she does not fight to prove her importance. Instead, she steps back because she knows that staying in a place where she is not respected slowly teaches her to accept less than she deserves. And once a person becomes used to accepting less, it becomes harder to recognize what they truly deserve. A smart woman refuses to let that happen. She understands that her worth is not defined by how someone treats her. It is defined by how she sees herself. And when she truly values herself, she begins to act differently. She no longer seeks approval from those who do not appreciate her. She no longer explains herself to people who are committed to misunderstanding her. She no longer invests her energy where it is not valued. This does not mean she becomes cold or distant. It means she becomes wise. She still cares, but she does not chase. She still loves, but she does not lose herself. She still gives, but she does not overextend herself to the point of exhaustion. There is balance in everything she does. One of the clearest signs of her growth is her ability to walk away. Walking away is not easy. It requires strength to leave something familiar. It requires courage to let go of what once meant something to you. It requires trust to believe that better exists beyond what you are leaving behind. But a smart woman understands that walking away from disrespect is not losing. It is gaining control over her life. She knows that every time she walks away from a place where she is not valued, she is creating space for something better. She is choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and dignity over discomfort. There are times when people will question her decision. They will say she is overreacting, that she is too sensitive, that she expects too much, but she does not let those words shake her, because deep down she knows the truth. She is not asking for too much. She is simply asking from the wrong people. And once she realizes this, everything changes. She stops trying to convince others of her worth. She stops trying to prove herself. She stops throwing her standards just to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. Instead, she raises her standards and allows her life to align with them. She understands that respect is not built through words alone. It is built through actions, through consistency, through behavior. And when someone consistently fails to show her respect, she does not wait endlessly for them to change. She changes her position. She steps back, not out of anger, but out of awareness. Because she knows that holding on to disrespect only damages her. It slowly erodes her confidence, weakens her sense of self, and fills her mind with doubt. And no person is worth that cost. A smart woman protects herself from that kind of damage. She becomes more aware of the patterns around her. She notices how people speak, how they behave, how they respond in difficult situations. She pays attention not to judge, but to understand who deserves a place in her life. And once she understands, she acts accordingly. She does not keep giving chances where there is no effort. She does not keep investing where there is no return. She does not keep showing up where she is not appreciated, because she understands a powerful truth. Your presence is valuable, and not everyone deserves access to it. This awareness changes everything. It changes how she interacts with people. It changes the relationships she chooses. It changes the way she carries herself. There is a quiet confidence in her, a calm strength that does not need validation. People begin to notice it. They notice that she is not easily available. They notice that she does not tolerate nonsense. They notice that she walks away when necessary, and because of that, they treat her differently. Not because she demanded respect, but because she demonstrated it through her actions. This is the power of knowing your worth. It is not loud, it is not aggressive, it is not forceful. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable. A smart woman does not wait for the world to recognize her value. She recognizes it within herself first. And once she does, she aligns her life with that understanding. She chooses environments that uplift her. She surrounds herself with people who respect her. She distances herself from anything that brings her down, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. Because she knows that her peace, her dignity, and her self-worth are too important to be compromised. And once she reaches this level of understanding, something remarkable happens. She no longer fears losing people, because she understands that losing the wrong people is actually a gain. She no longer fears being alone, because she knows that being alone with self-respect is far better than being surrounded by disrespect. She no longer fears starting over, because she trusts that what is meant for her will come, and it will come in a way that does not require her to lose herself. This is the mindset that makes her strong. This is the awareness that makes her unbreakable. And this is why a smart woman never tolerates disrespect, because she knows exactly who she is, and she refuses to accept anything less than what she deserves. My dear sisters, a smart woman is not the one who never feels pain. She is the one who refuses to stay where she is not valued. She does not chase what is running away. She does not beg for what should come naturally. She does not stay where her worth is ignored. Instead, she chooses something far more powerful. She chooses dignity over desperation. She chooses peace over chaos. She chooses self-respect over temporary attachment. And when a woman reaches this level of understanding, something changes within her. She becomes calm but strong, silent but powerful, alone but never empty, because she no longer depends on people to feel complete. She understands that what is meant for her will come, and it will come in a way that does not break her, confuse her, or make her question her worth. So if there is one thing to remember, let it be this: the moment you stop settling is the moment your life begins to rise. And the moment you start choosing yourself is the moment the world starts treating you differently. That is the power of a smart woman. And once she learns it, she never goes back.